How's everybody doing today? Thursday. We can see Friday is super close. Uh, let's see. Checking my stream. It's kicking in pretty good. Welcome, Internet Savior, if you're still here. Glad you can join me. Of course, y'all see the thumbnail. Super hot topic. Um, Everybody's doing it. It's like 3 or 4 people doing the video right now. So it's interesting. So I thought I would do it more from a cybersecurity. My overhead light went out, but we'll take care of that. I just thought I would do it more from a cybersecurity perspective. Um, since everybody's kind of doing it from a myriad of different other perspectives, I didn't hear of anybody doing anything from a technology cybersecurity perspective. Um, so let me check my phone and see if I'm good. Let's see, it's checking it out. If you got any questions, just throw them in the chat. We're a cybersecurity channel. We usually um, do it from that perspective. So let's go ahead and I guess get started. Like I said, I'm just.
It's common to change your professional goals. At Indiana Tech,
My bad.
we give you flexible ways
Checking
to
my
take
phone
charge.
to make sure I was on. Obviously, we're on. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Professor, I email you my phone number. I will email you my phone number to the chat. Or you can just email it to me at professorblackOps@gmail.com. However you want to do it. You could do Ty, you could do professorblackOps@gmail.com. Then we can link up. A lot of times I just drop a link, kind of like I go live on Restream. We could just do it over Restream. Of course, we wouldn't be live. We'd just be just talking through the little interface like we do when I drop the link. It just won't be live. However you want to do it, though, it's cool, Ty. So once again, I thought I'd get a little piece of the action, try to help myself with the algorithm. So we're going to talk about the Cardi B, Tasha K from a cybersecurity perspective. You know, that's what this channel is about: technology and cybersecurity. I'm not going to stray from from my core things I usually do. So let's get at it. Like I said, we're going to talk to it because usually, as you see, I think of cyberbullying and online harassment. I usually think of that really from a kid's perspective, right? Or children when I think of more cyberbullying. You know, people on Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. So when I had to think about it, I was listening to actually TLA, shout out to TLA. He brought in on the case, the lawyers were talking about cyberbullying. So that made me think about this case in a totally different way. Cyberbullying and online harassment. And I got a few slides. We're gonna go through them and the thing that too is I haven't had any problems. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, is especially on YouTube. People try to dox you, right? I don't really care. I usually got my Professor Black Ops hooked up to my LinkedIn. So I'm kind of a mundane person. I don't really talk about anything too controversial. I try to stay out the relationship game and all that other stuff. So from that perspective, I don't worry too much about doxing and stuff. But when I thought about it from a cyberbullying perspective, that's what Cardi B was talking about. She felt cyberbullied. She felt that Tasha K was telling straight lies about it, though. That was the crazy part. Straight lies about it. So let me see why my thing is blank. Oh, let's see. Oh, let me reshare my screen. It got unshared. Let's reshare it. I'll make sure we're good. So we're gonna talk about it from once again a cybersecurity perspective. What's up, Citizen Lou? Princess Sid Glass. So we're going to talk about it. You know, everybody's on it. I'm talking about it from a technology and cyberbullying point of view, right? I'm not talking about it from a libel, lawsuit. Everybody done that. It's been about 3 lawyers done that, and the gossip part about it. But we're going to talk about once again from a cybersecurity perspective And I think Citizen Lou, I think they were chopping it up about doxing and people just, just telling everything about you on the internet, right? So that's when I start thinking about adults. When I think cyberbullying, a lot of times I think of kids, but when you think about doxing, right, that's huge, especially in the manosphere, right? It's crazy. Uh, Hello, I appreciate it. How are you doing, Princess A? Are you hiding from work? Yeah, I put myself in a meeting. I probably get in trouble. I said a meeting, then I went live. So if the computer system blow up or we get hacked, they got my phone number. So I'm with citizens. Let's get at it. It's not gonna be long. So we talked about doxing. That's real big in YouTube. What is that? Doxing is the weaponization of your personal data. Why? You don't want people to know who you are. You don't want people to know who you married. You definitely want to keep the kids out. Sometime your location, sometime your employers. People call up your employers and make stuff up. Which I think is asinine and crazy. But we know that stuff happens. Out here. So doxing, I like that term though. Doxing is the weaponization of your personal data. Right. So let's read a little. What is doxing? According to Conspiracy, doxing is the act of revealing identity information from someone online, such as real name, home address, workplace, phone, financial, and other personal data, which is then circulated to the public without the victim's permission. Right? The feature is usually perpetrated by an intimate partner, friend, both online and offline, internet strangers, media publications, aka Tasha K, companies, hackers, or anyone who may possess towards you to possess animosity towards you. One of the most well-known earliest instance was when activists secured providers' personal information such as home address, phone numbers, and photographs, and posted them on the hit list, right? So you have activists overstepping lines, right? And obviously, Tasha K definitely overstepped lines. She said on the stand that she was lying to get money and views, right? Because she's got over 1 million followers. So she makes a ton of money. So she keeps that up. Sometimes it's with fake posts, right? Which is kind of part of doxing, but you lying too with the doxing part of it, right? So I did doxing first because when we get into cyberbullying, doxing is a part of cyberbullying. So, and two, when we talk about cyberbullying, people get angry, isolation, depression, illness, and humiliation. And if you look at the Cardi B documents and what she was saying on a stand, right, she felt all of those feelings when Tasha K, I guess, was cyberbullying her, right? I guess she called her and told her to stop, woman, but Tasha K was like, she making money, so she wasn't gonna stop, right? So cyberbullying, I like I said, usually when I think of cyberbullying, I think of kids. Yeah, sort of like swatting. Swatting's a little more dangerous though, because you got people pulling guns out on you, child swatting. I did a video swatting, right? Swatting is when somebody make a fake call and it's escalated, so the SWAT team comes out, right? So they kicking in your door, they making you lay on the ground. To what's his name? Rashid. They marched him out backwards in his house, right? He called outside and told him he was coming out. But yeah, swatting. So you can die in swatting, right? So what is cyberbullying? The bullying taking place over digital devices like cell phones, computer tablets, and it can occur through SMS, text, apps. Biggest parts online social media, forums, gaming, where people can view, participate, and share content. Cyberbullying includes sending, posting, sharing negative, harmful, false, or mean content about someone else. It can include sharing personal or private information about someone, causing embarrassment, humiliation. Some cyberbullying cross the line into unlawful or criminal behavior, right? This Tasha K pretty much just said, she got herpes. She was doing crazy stuff at the strip club when she was stripping. But Tasha K didn't have any proof of any of that, right? Usually Tasha K has the receipts. So that's why when we looked at the other slide with all the emotion, Cardi B felt like she was feeling no emotion because Tasha K was just relentless, right? She just did video because she was making a ton of money off of Cardi B in those videos, right? But after a while, obviously she crossed the line. Right? Some of the most common places where cyberbullying occurred: social media, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, and of course YouTube, right? Text messages, messaging apps on mobile or tablet, instant message, direct message, and online chat over the internet, online forums, and online gaming communities, right? So those are different ways to be cyber bullied, um, which is the same because I kind of see that, like, especially when you go on panels, man, it can get kind of crazy out there. So, but hopefully we keep everything civil and just keep moving it. So some of the viral tactic examples, like we talked about, lies and false accusations. That's obviously what Tasha K was doing with Cardi B. I don't know if she was jealousy and bullying, right? They talk about teenagers harassing other teenagers in class, dating very different people, and right to doxing over online games or on YouTube, right? Finding your information out because a lot of stuff is public. I don't know if a lot of cases they know your real name, they can search. They know your state. They can search open court filings. Look at your LinkedIn if they find your real name. Find your employer, right? Then find your coworkers, right? It's not a hard thing to do, right? So I guess which in this age of that type of thing, right? I guess we can expect it, right? Prince say doxing and cyberbullying both can create a scenario where physical harm can come about, especially 100%, Prince. And that's especially with younger people. Everybody jumps on board, everybody jumps on, and just really don't understand the devastation you can actually cause somebody, right? Yeah, swatting will put you on a list. Yeah, 100%. Both if you found swatting and if you the swatee, right? You on the list, right? And like once again, that's dangerous. I think I did 2 videos. If you check my thing with swatting in there. So what's up, Peter Investor M? Glad you can make it. So just talking about cyberbullying and online harassment. How it went with the Cardi B case. So just kind of putting the ball around it from a technology standpoint. So what are some of the tactics? It's important to understand. Like you're talking about, children are cyberbullied, so it's easily to recognize and action can be taken. Some of the most common bullying tactics, but once again, Cardi B felt this as an adult, right? Post comments or rumors about somebody online that are mean, threaten to hurt someone or tell them to kill themselves. I got to stop saying that word. Post a mean or hurtful picture, pretend to be someone online to solicit posts of personal false information. Post mean or hateful comments about somebody's race, religion, or ethnicity, or other personal characteristics. Create a mean or hurtful web page about somebody, right? Cardi B made tons of videos. I think it was more than 10 about Cardi B, right? And all of them was just million views. Each one of those videos probably for her was making $5,000 or $6,000 every time she did a Cardi B video, right? Just because you get money for it, right, doesn't make it right, right? We got to put that in there. Doxing is an abbreviated form of Word document or form of online harassment to extract revenge or threaten to destroy privacy of individuals by making their personal information public. And we talked about that earlier. Address, social security number, credit card, phone number, right? Then 2 is people be sharing nudes and stuff, right? So that you can start doxing people by resharing photos that they sent to you in confidence. So once again, that's kind of what made me think a little bit about more when I started thinking about doxing than Tasha just dragging Cardi B. But Cardi B won that 4 million. I think it was 3,000,088 now when they put down a medical. How many people think Cardi B gonna get that money from Tasha K? How many people think? Put a one in your chat. You think she gonna get some of that money, that 4 million from Tasha K? So let's talk about how do you get digital evidence from somebody. So why we say that is Tasha K's videos are digital evidence, right, in court, right? So the lawyers were going through those videos, looking at them, pulling out false statements. Just kidding, I got that flat. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about from law enforcement. Do they have rights to go through your Facebook, Snapchat, or your YouTube channel, right? When you dropping gems about people, right? Can they request that via search warrant, right? So we can talk a little bit about that in the case of Cardi B. How do you get evidence? Now, this evidence was easy to get because Tasha K had them all public, making money, refused to take them down, right? But what if you had some videos that were you said private? What you have some Facebook stuff that only Facebook friends can see it and not the police. So how would they go about getting that evidence, right? Can a video evidence be used in a criminal trial? If a video is introduced as evidence in criminal trial, this was in Cali, the video must be relevant to the case, must demonstrate or prove something about the case, must be authentic in a way that can be verified by a video expert. Facts. Subpoena warrant, that's coming up. You're right, Hammer, that's coming up. You're correct. Video surveillance has been a tool for retailers and property owners for decades, but only recently has some criminals started shooting themselves, videos of themselves committing crime and uploading those videos to YouTube or broadcasting it live, even bragging online about their criminal exploits, right? We got some people that, they want a video and to show off and show the money, and they put it on, they don't even put it on private, they put it on public, right? So what does that mean in trial, right? What's up, Erica? Glad you can make it. Just touching on Tasha K and Cardi B from a cybersecurity point of view. Oh, that's 100% Princess A. They get their hands on a lot of stuff, man. They be paying people on the back end, paying administrators to get backup tapes and stuff. Now, you're 100% correct on that, Princess A. So there's certain guidelines that uploaders of YouTube must follow. However, even if the video is no longer available on the website, there's others that may provide confirmation that the video did exist. So lawyers could contact administrators to the site to provide a copy of the file. Through access or the file itself, the prosecutor may have additional evidence that helps prove the defendant did commit the crime. The defendant may even incriminate himself or herself by explaining what happened, right? So just because you make a video private, right, they could have the administrator through, and we're gonna get that through a subpoena search warrant, give you that information, right? A lot of people think even if you delete a video off of YouTube, they done made a copy of it. So if the law enforcement has ever asked them of an old copy, did you delete it? They got it in the essays got it in the back end, right? Because they're making duplicates of all your video, right? So the relevance of the video to the case. YouTube upload videos must have some bearing in the case. We talked about that. Subject matter for property destruction, robbery, theft, or assault on a person. The video may prove the action of the defendant as proof. However, if the video has no relevance, such as action taken, behavior that does not connect to the charge of the case, the judge may declare the evidence as inadmissible. It must connect the defendant to some manner, and it must connect the action or behavior of the defendant, right? And let's talk about the authenticity of the video. So we know Tasha K made the video because she had them posted, right? So the lies were on the video she posted, so those videos were relevant to the case, right? She said Cardi B had an STI, Cardi B doctor show where she was testing her and she never had one, right? So now that video is proof that, right, liable for the $4 million, right, that she was actually lying on video. And two is when there's crimes and other things, that's the things you would try to get Facebook posts, Snapchat posts, or YouTube videos to either say you wasn't there or the other to say you did the crime, right? So videos can be used as evidence if they have bearing on the case, right? So let's talk about the authenticity of the video. When attempting to prove the video is admissible, evidence of relevant crime committed by the defendant, the prosecution will generally hire an expert. The professional will need to demonstrate and prove that in the courtroom the video is authentic. He or she will test the file and ensure that there's no corruption, that the scene and the person in video are both in the truly location, and there's no tampering with the details. Proving authenticity is important for a video to remain as evidence, as expert witness Howard will explain how it is authentic to the judge or to the jury panel, right? Because there are ways to alter videos, to change videos, right? If you ever look at deep fakes, right? You can do deep fakes where that person's face gets put on another person, right? Now we're getting into details, right? Those used to be super hard to do, but they have plain software. But so basically, the authenticity of that video, is it a deep fake? Is it in the location? A lot of times when you shoot a video, a lot of times they put the longitude and latitude in the video, so you know exactly where they actually shot the video, right? So as far as the case, Tasha K said she did the video. She didn't deny the video. She actually says she did the videos to make money, right? So she verified that the videos was legit and she did them, right? So are those valuable evidence? Prosecution should demonstrate the video is valuable and should remain a piece of evidence. It's important to establish the upload is more valuable evidence that could be used for emotional harm or distress to the jury, right? So and I think Cardi B showed that her video was hurtful. Tasha K said in one of her videos she's gonna wipe her A with the subpoena. Cardi B sent her a cease and desist. Yep, shout out to geolocation. Sent her a cease and desist letter, and Tasha K said she's gonna wipe her A with it. So she said it in the video. So right, criminal defense for you to evidence. When the defendant gets criminal charges in a courtroom, the defendant would need a criminal defense lawyer to protect his or hers. This may also require additional services to refute the evidence or explain that this is not connecting to the crime or is inadmissible for lack of value or relevance, right? That's what we need. Attorneys, there's a ton of them on, not a ton, there's a few on YouTube was covering the case, and they did, excellent job of talking about deposition. But once again, we're talking about YouTube as video evidence from a cybersecurity perspective, right? Because we deal with cyberbullying at work, doxing at work, right? As a computer department and as a computer SME, cybersecurity me, we talk about that at work. If somebody sends a nasty email to another employee, right, or somebody docs somebody at work, right, what recourse does the cybersecurity team have, right? We do have a lot of lawyers in the agency I work at, so that becomes an HR perspective. But once again, we got to get the emails, whatever they post, to give it to the lawyers, kind of like this case is, so they can take action from HR on that particular employee, right? So let's see what we got in the chat. You should calculate how much they pay for every Cardi B to get that money back for her. I'm sure they all over it. I'm sure they all over Erica, because I'm sure it's a crazy amount. That might be part of the $4 million settlement, Erica, because $4 million is a lot of money. Tasha K got banked, but I don't know if she got $4 million banked, because that's $4 million post-tax, not pre-tax, right? They want $4 million straight. So that's a different about. Yeah, shout out to that. That's geolocation. A lot of times I usually think of it more when you take pictures of geolocation. I don't really think of much as when you do videos and streams, but I'm sure that code is in there. Shout out to Princess A. Let's see. What about Cardi B talking about hemming up a dude at home? That's irrelevant to the case, Ty. We're talking about the cyberbullying of Cardi B. That's like we talked about. That's irrelevant to the case. But it is interesting to say Cardi B's hemming guys up. She's supposed to be a blood set, and you getting your feelings hurt from a cybersecurity post. So that is an interesting conundrum, Ty. I agree with you on that. You a slash blood, but Tasha K making you nervous by doing videos, so that was a bit perplexed on there, right? But so let's talk about police, how they get data, how they get evidence on you in different ways they can do it. So let's hit that part real quick. So Fourth Amendment at a high level is Constitution gives every person in this country the right to be free and of unreasonable search and seizures. That means law enforcement can't just barge in someone's house, search their personal evidence unless they have a warrant to do so. In some cases, such as a vehicle search, if they don't have a warrant, they must have probable cause, meaning they must suspect the crime has been or will be committed, right? Unfortunately, social media posts aren't always covered under the Constitution. In 2012, a federal judge ruled that a man who charged with murder gave up his right to privacy the moment he posted the details about his activities online, right? So a lot of times when you post your activities online, especially in a public forum, right, that's free to the public. Law enforcement's methods for searching social media. Officials search social media in various ways when investigating crime. Investigator might simply log on a platform, find a suspect page, and look at the post, right? So if your stuff is public, right, you can get it. Ask one of your users' friends or followers to let them see what the suspect has posted if the account is private, right? So now that's okay. Are you overstepping as the police, right? You got their friends snitching, right? Go on, go undercover on the platform, create a fake profile, and friending the suspect, right? So those are three different ways they can do that, right? To figure out to look at your page and look at yours, especially when you talk about Facebook, Snapchat, right? 9 times out of 10, when people do videos, they're public and then they're out there to view it and make a couple pennies, right? Let's look at the chat real quick. Those digits data covered on the Fourth Amendment. Yep. Tasha shouldn't have taken a course in hat therapy. I'm leaving that alone. I'm leaving that alone. A lot of folks don't know how much you can get from. No, true. Exfiltrating data. You don't even have to exfiltrate it. The hell, they give it to you. I'm amazed at what people post. I'm old school. You just didn't air your family dirt, your family laundry. You didn't argue with people out there. You didn't post those type of photos. And I joke, man. I had to have Playboys under my bed. When I was a kid, you go on Instagram, man. Everybody just half dressed, man. So it's crazy. Digital day is not coming on the fourth. When the police post crimes on Instagram, you can be charged. True. No, I agree with that. I think they're gonna dig a little more into that engineering cannabis. Yeah, skip trace though is a little different because you're actually paying a service to track somebody down cause yeah by a social security number usually or name and where they used to live. My you saw my attorney, she skip trace people. Um, so we both dabble in real estate. So if you need to evict somebody or somebody try to skip out on your rent, we can skip trace them and put a lien on their paycheck if we can find them. I had someone call me paranoid by using them. Oh no, you're not paranoid. Those are, I hate this word. Those are good cybersecurity hygiene. A VPN is needed these days. Helmet. That's not being paranoid. Shout out for Erica for every time I read her stuff, I'm like, oh, I got to pick it up. So how law enforcement, this one surprised me a little bit. I never actually thought about this from a law enforcement standpoint. Law enforcement buys your data, no warrant needed. Like people buy data from you from banks and stuff for your stuff. I just never thought about the police buying your data. So let's read about this. Good news is there's some privacy laws that's governing if and how the government can get your data. The Electronic Communication Privacy Act, the first enacted in 86. But the law is several decades old. While it has been updated since 86, many of the tenets don't really reflect how we use the internet today or how much of your data stays in the hands of companies that provides you these services to us, right? This means there's gray areas and loopholes for some things. The government doesn't have to go through any legal process at all. Law enforcement can and does purchase location data from data brokers, for instance. While the location data companies claim that the data has been de-identified, expert says it's often to possibly re-identify yourself, right? Because if you checked in that location, um, like they said, geolocation, it's called geofencing, right? Something happens in the area, they can get all the phone numbers in that area that was touching those telecommunication towers, right? It's called geofencing. So they can purchase that data. Then if you checked in on Facebook at that same location, right, they can marry you together with that data there, right? So I just never thought about law enforcement actually purchasing data. They usually have search warrants. They usually don't buy anything. So that was kind of a different what's kind of thought pattern for that. I might dig down a little deeper into that, right? Actually, let's look at the chat real quick. Watch clean activities, making big business. Facts. I'm doing 100 days. Shout out, yeah. I need to shout out to him, and I need to get back on my job. I've been saying I'm gonna do that. Is this possible that Nikki K? Oh, I didn't even think about that, Erica. I didn't even think about that. Well, Nikki gonna have to pay that $4 million bill for Tasha K, Erica. But I never thought about that. I'm gonna have to think about that a little. Moving that track is becoming facts. So, salute to the B2B. Glad you could join us. So, once again, on the Cardi B, Tasha K thing from a cybersecurity perspective, talking about how law would get evidence, right? We know Tasha K gave her all the evidence, but from a legal perspective, law enforcement can go through courts. If you suspect of a crime or police are looking for evidence and you're digital, then the ECPA, shout out to Helmet, he brought this up. You can get a subpoena, court order, or a warrant before a company. If you Google this, Facebook gets a ton of search warrants, right? So the police is all up in Facebook businesses. Facebook has a special office. They get so many to give police access. They try to give them access to only a couple users, right? That's on that warrant to try to make it not so broad but narrow it down. But all the big social media companies get search warrants for FBI, police. So I was surprised, like I said, how many warrants Facebook got. Subpoenas, this gives investigators what is known as subscriber information, such as username, address, length of service, how long you had your Facebook account, log information, when you made a phone call or logged in and out of Facebook accounts, and even credit card information, right? That's what a subpoena gets you. Sorry about that. Court order or D order. The D refers to 18 U.S. Code, which says a court may order an internet service provider to give law enforcement any records about the subscriber other than the contents of their communication. So this could include email, who emailed you, when, but not the contents of the actual email, right? So this is metadata, and they can get metadata from you, right? A lot of times they just want to place you in a certain location or you in contact with a certain person, right? Because then they can get the big daddy right here, the search warrant, right? Sometimes you got to go through these to get through to ask for a full search warrant. Search warrant. This gives law enforcement access to the contents itself, specifically stored contents, which includes emails, photos, videos, posts, direct messages, location information. The email stored for over 180 days can be obtained with such a subpoena. That rule dates back to before people routinely kept their emails on another company's server. So, how far back does your Gmail inbox go? Or use it as a backup. At this point, several courts have ruled that a warrant is necessary for email content, regardless of how old the emails are. And the service provider generally demands a warrant before they agree to hand them over. Right. Granted, most social media companies, they do a great job about not just handing over your information easily, but with a search warrant. But the police and FBI, man, they be getting search warrants to me too easy. Like a lot of judges just give them search warrants to go through electronic data and social media. I think those old judges really don't understand the value of social media, right? So I think that's why they do it, right? So big tech created a data treasure trove for police, right? We're gonna specifically dive down in Newport. We all know that, right? There's just so much data, especially the younger you get, they put more and more data on social media and the internet, right? It's some stuff probably private that they probably should not have private because they trust social media with the contents of stuff, right? So Data compiled by the 4 biggest tech companies showed law enforcement requests for user information, phone calls, emails, texts, photos, shopping history, driving routes, and more have more than tripled since 2015. Police are also increasingly savvy about covering their tracks so as not to alert the suspects of their interest. Right? So they're reading your stuff, but they're not. Your emails are still staying unread. They're taking stuff and put them on other servers, so the date doesn't change. So you know somebody read it or reviewed it, right? So I think that's what's happening. A lot of judges need to retire and have new all facts. 100%. I mean, we need to, but those jobs pay like 200,000, so they be riding them out, helmet. They ain't giving them up easy. So, just in the first half of 2020, the most recent data available from Apple, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft together fielded more than 112,000 data requests from local, state, and federal offices. The companies agreed to hand over some data in 85% of those cases. Facebook, including its Instagram service, accounted for the largest number of disclosures. Right? We know Facebook. All the criminals are on Facebook holding it down, showing money, flashing it, right? So, but 112,000, that's a lot of cases, right? Nearly all the big tech companies from Amazon and rental sites like Airbnb, ride-hailing service Uber, and Lyft and service providers like Verizon now have teams to respond to requests, regularly publish report of how much they disclose. Many say they work to many of the companies work to narrowly overly broad requests and reject those that aren't legally valid, right? So they got whole legal teams working on this, right? Pushing back on subpoenas and search warrants because they're too broad. They want them narrow, right? So they do a good job of that. But just know if you put it on a social media site, it could be in a police report, right? So B2B, people know when you open an email. Yeah, a lot of times they put read receipts on their B2B, and there's some different types of read receipts people put on very sophisticated company, so it doesn't ask if you want to send a read receipt. So yeah, people know. You got to do a little programming with it, but yeah, people know. Like I said, the standard way is the read receipt. I heard some police are playing songs during cases so you can post as you get a copyright strike. Oh yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, because the police are messing with you, right? They don't like your content, or they're doing. Yeah, people do that all the time. I believe that happened. 2 days around. Oh yeah, a lot of times too. If you look, the cool thing about YouTube, you can strip the music off because they usually have it in the audio and the video. So just that part of the audio, I you just can't strip out the music, but you can strip out that version of the music. And if you drop it into Adobe, the Adobe shows you the music stream and the talking audio stream in 2 different lines. So I know if you drop it in Adobe, you can definitely strip the music out. Yeah, Tyler, laws are crazy. The problem with laws is they're always behind, right? Because something happens, then you create a law in. By the time you vote on it, right, and sometimes it has to go to the lower court, all the way up to the Supreme Court. Adrian's in the house. We talk about legal stuff. So yeah, so sometimes when you do a law, it's got to go from the lower court all the way up to the Supreme Court to be a valid, especially when you're talking about electronic laws, internet laws, communication. So they take a while to be, and so they're always late. Facebook and YouTube demand facial recognition companies to stop scraping from their site. So a lot of times, like we talked about, so if you were looking for all the videos with somebody face in, this is talking about that. There was a third-party company who just took all their photos and scraped them and put it in their own database, right? Their own national database. Facebook joined YouTube and Twitter in a payment service, Venmo, on Wednesday, demanding that a facial recognition company stop harvesting user images to identify the people in them, which the startup does as part of its work with the police, right? So they're just going through what Facebook made an open API and think about. So people just went through and just start pulling billions of pictures off of Facebook at first, right? For police, they they're building their own mass database, right? It's not the government, it's a third party company that's going to sell it to the government, right? So Facebook said that it had demanded the name of the company's New York-based Clearview AI stop accessing or using information from its flagship site and Instagram. Scraping people information violates our policy, company said. Clearview CEO Hoan told CBS in an interview that it has First Amendment right to roughly 3 billion image it has collected. The way we have built our system is only take publicly available information and index it in that way, right? So they saying those images were public. We didn't do anything wrong. They're public and open to them. We just took them all, right? But most people never envisioned a company taking 3 billion photos and indexing them with your name and your address and your other personal data. They linking it back to your LinkedIn. It's called backlinks. That's how Google makes. So you start creating these backlinks of people's pictures. Then a lot of people were laughing. They said the 10-year challenge was to add to that. They want to get your young picture and your new picture, right? So a lot of people were talking about that. So I didn't believe that, but a lot of people were telling there's some good things about. Oh, there's great things about social media. Helmet, I think far as people visiting you, you contacting your family, you starting a business on social media, you linking to people, those groups and getting people together is great. So there's a ton of great things about it. Helmet. I really wasn't either, Adrian, following the case. Just so many people was doing it. Shout out to B2B. I was checking out his man TLA, and it was like 3 other lawyers. I think Miss B Finesse is doing it right now. It's like everybody's doing it. So I wanted to do something from a cybersecurity perspective, right? So, anybody got any questions? Just let me know. Drop them in the chat. Oh, by far, Facebook is the monster, man. I mean, I think they said like 65% of the world was on Facebook. I mean, it's some crazy number. Helmet. Facebook is, is it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, drop the link in the chat. Just drop the link in the chat if you want, Adrian. I just modded you up. I thought you were already modded. I just modded you up. So we're gonna look at this is Amazon's big data for facial recognition. So we're just gonna go through and just talk about how, if you had a case and you had to go through 1,000 or million videos, how would you do that to pull out your face? How would you use machine learning to dump your audio out to look through text, right? And just a couple different things that these built-in technologies can do that I wasn't even aware of. And it's super quick. Okay. Other bloggers going, oh, quite facts. Hopefully people be nice to each other. Allegedly. So a lot of people try to figure out this case going to have everybody ease up a little bit. Or is YouTube going to be tougher because if I'm Cardi B, I'm suing YouTube too. YouTube supporting Tasha K. I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get the big bag. So I won't be surprised if they add YouTube on the back of this too to try to get some additional monies. And I think even if they don't, I think YouTube is like, hey, we're gonna have to lock down because we ended up in court and some of our biggest subscribers, even though Tasha K and the whole is she's not small ever, but there's people out there with 10 million subscribers and crazy amount, right? I think Tasha got 1 million, right? So she's probably in the top 10 or 20%. So put a little respect on her name. So this is Amazon automated image and video analysis with machine learning. So quickly add pre-trained or computerized vision APIs to your application without building machine models and learning from scratch. Second box is big time there. Analyze millions of images, videos within minutes, and augment human visual review tasks with artificial intelligence. Right. So you talk about going through millions within minutes, right? Because you can spin up multiple instances and multiple VMs of this across thousands of servers, right? And just do it all in parallel. Right? Scale up and down based on your business need with the fully managed AI capabilities, and pay only for the images and videos you analyze, right? Look at the bottom. I think I got my man over there. Features Amazon recognition offers pre-trained, customized computer vision capabilities to extract information and insight from your images and videos. Right. So we're gonna just walk through a couple of these features and just see what they can do. Machine learning using natural language process to collect your text data all day, that it easily and predict what you're gonna do. Facts. So we were looking at Amazon. They were selling this to the police force, but some of their employees got upset. So Amazon's trying to figure out if they're going to keep selling this to the police force and the FBI. But look at some of the built-in features, right? Content moderations, detect successful and unsuccessful, inappropriate, unwanted content across images and videos, right? So that's to baby's plan. But if you had, something you want to do that they consider not cool or not appropriate on YouTube, the scanner could shoot it to their review team, so they don't have to look at every video, right? And we know face and compare. We know you can put your picture in there, and it'll look through every video and find out if anybody's showing your picture in any video, right? And send it to the review team for Amazon, so they don't have to do that. Oh, facts, Antonio. Predictive analysis, right? That goes along with engineering cannabis says with your AI and your machine learning. The second part of that, of course, is let's predict what we can do with it, right? The other part of that is facial detection and analysis, right? It says it's a female 100%, eyes are open 100%. It can see the smile and the curves happy, smiling 100%, right? So if somebody's looking at a video, so if somebody's watching you look at something, right, they can tell if you're happy, sad, or if you like it, right? From them video you doing something, right? So they can like facial detection and analysis, right? So I can compare your face to make sure this is you. Then I can say, are you happy? Are you smiling? Are you sad, mad? Are you perplexed? Right? So this is what these facial recognition tools are able to do. Right? Labels detect thousands of objects and scene plus activities such as delivering a package or playing soccer. Right? So it says there's a person riding a bike. He's riding on rocks. It's a crest. We can see clouds, so it's outdoors, and it looked like we're on a mountain, right? So they give you a percentage of those, right? So when you reviewing or you going through videos and you looking for certain things, right? That's a lot of times you always see next to a custom labels, they blur them out, right? Because it's advertising for other people, right? Detect custom objects such as brand logos using machine learning, auto ML to train your model with as few as 10 images, right? Are you looking for a certain company, or are you just trying to block out logos from a particular scene, right? So then text detection, extract, skewed, and distorted text from images, video, street signs, social media posts, and product packaging. Right, so it can go through and pick out specific things from the video, right? And it could do, like it says, millions in a minute, right? The traffic from Lincoln provides a writing sample. Oh, that's cool. The problem with algorithms that did not have enough data of people of color to feed the algorithm. No, facts, yeah. Because I think at first when they 30% off engineering cannabis, like you said, they got bad publicity, so they fixing it all, right? Because there was a guy in Detroit, I think 3 years ago, got arrested because the algorithm people of color, so they're getting it together, like engineering cannabis says they're working on it. This part of AI using object detection, auto detection. I can track anyone and anybody because your audio and faces are all facts. Your audio and your face are like fingerprints, right? You and somebody can have the same tone, but like engineering, y'all could be paused. The way y'all pause different. the way you say a word with an S or a Y could be slightly different. It's close to your fingerprint. So yeah, shout out to engineering cannabis. Celebrity recognition, identity will be known. People catalog photos, footage of media, marketing, and advertising. Right? So that's a special category, right? And of course, Cardi B would be in that category, right? They have probably a million celebrities that are like engineering cannabis that they learned about that's prepackaged inside their algorithm, right? Video segmentation, detect key segments in the video such as black frame, start or ends of credits, color bars, and certain shots, right? So if you're looking for some specific in the video, once again, I thought the third one was pretty interesting. I never thought about that. Personal protective equipment, PPE detection, automatically detect PE such as helmets, gloves, masks are on in the person in the image. So as people take in camera shots or video cut, you can tell if somebody's not wearing the proper equipment, right? So you can fire them, find them, or give them a recommend, right? So that's how this technology could be used for good, right? It's not all bad. It's not all bad. So that's the Amazon recognition. And two is you can get I think they got a free tier out there for like 3 months. You can use it. Of course, they're not like gonna let you scan everything, but you can use it on there. So and ACP MBA on the link. Facts. Oh, this is interesting because it seems a lot of biometrics are discriminating against people of color. Um, I'm pausing on that a little bit, Antonio. I'm like engineering cannabis. I think they're working on it. And I think, and he brought this up, and I was telling somebody today, we need to validate all those algorithms to make sure they're not discriminatory or biased. But companies using that for a certain technique, they need to put it on a blockchain and have it open to public scrutiny, or at least we hire a couple people like I do in my business. They sign an NDA, they can look at the technology, and when you sign an NDA, if you tell somebody, you would get sued. But some other people, hopefully people of color or people we trust, can view those algorithms and turn to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and not and not doing what, like I said, doing it right. I'm going to be. It's going to be used by foreign countries to find assist. Oh, facts! They doing it already. I did a Afghanistan video helmet. They had portable facial recognition. The United States left those behind, and they left a lot of the people that was helping us. So they was using that facial recognition. It's a mobile camera. You can Google it. They were using that Afghanistan to track people down. That's why you see people trying to hang on airplanes. It's crazy, but now that's already there. If you go back and look at my Afghanistan video, they doing that in Afghanistan right now because we didn't grab all the computers or set them on fire or throw them in the ocean. We left a lot of computers running there, so they're having a problem right now once again in Afghanistan. So no, not open source, Antonio. Like I review companies' cybersecurity architectural diagrams, right? So they let me review them under NDA, right? Because they trying to do business with the vendor I work for. They let me view it, right? So I do my assessment. I tell them what I need to fix or not. So I think the algorithms need to be like that, right? So we trust engineering cannabis. So engineering cannabis would sign an NDA with that company, and he would go look at the algorithms to make sure he believed they wasn't biased, right? We were talking about digital redlining. Say a company saying where you live depends on your loan. So you're like, no, dude, just because I'm poor, that shouldn't have nothing to do with my loan, right? So it's not open source. We just need somebody we trust that can go in and look at those algorithms. So we went open source them because I want them to make money. I just want to make sure that part of the algorithm that has those data elements of learning, right? Somebody like engineering cannabis can view that and make a decision if he think those are biased by people of color, Antonio. I think he's saying those algorithms are already deployed in many areas, many countries to track facts. How you doing, OG Patrice? We just talking about. I'm jumping on the Cardi B, Tasha K. We were talking about it from a cybersecurity perspective, cyberbullying, online harassment. Then we talked about how law enforcement gets video data, search warrants, and subpoenas. So, fact. You want to auditor like a counter auditor? Yep, 100%. Yeah, we call them assessor. Yeah, auditor assessor, like he says, to audit those algorithms. The hard part, yeah, that's cool, Antonio. The hard part is, and I'll let engineering cannabis, it's not a lot of those guys with those technologies to go out and review those, right? So we should, but two is maybe there should be a government regulation body that does that for the people, right? And of course, we can review the regulator, but we need somebody in there that kind of does it, Antonio, because we know a lot of times those algorithms are fair. There's a book called WMD. It stands for Weapons of Math Destructions with their algorithms. I'm actually going to do a video about that. They talk about a lot of the algorithms that they know are socially biased, financially biased, elitely biased for the elite people. So I'm going to do a book on those. It's called WMD, Weapons of Math Destruction. So it's pretty common on that. Glad the OG Patrice could join us. I'm always on live with her. So Amazon, once again, that's their facial recognition. You put the picture through there, they validate the picture, the selfie, or whatever you're looking for. They're classified with the driver's license, compare it to the picture ID, extract user ID from the downstream from the process, right? Then either can onboard, authenticate you, or tell you need to get arrested, right? It depends on what that algorithm is being used for, right? So like I said, once again, I just wanted to talk about, I'm gonna go back to the top, just talk about this in a different perspective, more from a cybersecurity technology standpoint. I think it's good because I think it's too much libel going on YouTube, libel going on Facebook. Like I said, that was just, I'm gonna drop the link if you bored and you want to come up. So let's so like I said, from everybody's doing it. Shout out! There's been so many great interviews just in that space. The finesse family was doing it right now. I was like, I should have spread it mine out. So she was doing it. TLA been wearing it out. Everybody, O'Shea, Duke Jackson, all the big YouTubers were doing it. So I'm just trying to get a couple views, man, so I can get a couple pennies in my revenue stream. Shout out to me. Get a couple pennies. Okay, let's see what Helmet said. All right, so I dropped the link if you're bored and you want to come up, we can chat. If not, no pressure. Weapons of math destruction, how big data, facts, cat. Yeah, that's it. So I'm thinking about reading that and doing a stream on that. Even though it's probably 4 or 5 years old, I still think it's relevant. Let me know what you think about that. Oh, can you hear me? I'm on. You're on.
Hey there, Professor Black Ops.
How are you doing?
I was supposed to be taking a nap.
Actually,
I saw your stream. I was like, wait a minute. I wrote a trial brief about that. Let me see what they're talking about, because I wasn't following the case. Was
why
this
not everybody you followed it on YouTube? Now, most people talking about the money and how Tasha K was talking about she was doing fake streams to get the money. So the thing that really piqued my interest, shout out to TLA, he said lawyers were talking about Cardi B was talking about she was being cyberbullied a lot. And I was thinking about that as kids than online harassment. So I was like,
right?
That's gonna be the take. I'm gonna do it on my show. But go ahead and add in there.
Well, no. So the trial brief that I wrote was from an education perspective, actually, and it was it was a project from my capstone class for undergrad.
Okay.
But hypothetically, one student was being cyberbullied by another, and what I needed to discern is whether the school district was liable.
So
So that's
that's
what my
my.
so that's
I'm
what my
jumping.
trial brief is about.
Yeah, that's my question. Is since Cardi B won 4 million from Tasha K, I think it's like 3,800,000. So I just round up to four. The question is YouTube liable because Tasha K is on their platform? I don't think so
Right.
because you signed some terms and the thing. And I think she violated something.
Mhm.
But if I'm Cardi B and I got my New York lawyers, I'm suing everybody up the chain.
Oh yes, you go after the deepest pockets. You know what this is, Professor Black Ops.
And she got that. And she already paid her lawyers. I think
Yes.
on Twitter.
So
This man,
I was not aware that this was the complaint was a cyber again, and I wasn't following this case at all. Um, so I wasn't aware that it was the complaint had a cyberbullying component to it. Is that the way that it went?
don't hold me to it. I'm just TLA was preaching, and I just picked. I was on his channel because B2B was over there, and he started talking about that's what the lawyers put in some of their briefs. I didn't. I
Oh,
haven't officially read
interesting.
the brief, and
Oh,
he's
I
a
gotta go
lawyer,
read
so
those now. See, now see.
so. Well, I don't know if the brief he's in Georgia. He actually went to the trial 3 days, so he
Well, it's a
actually
matter
heard
of
what the
public
lawyer.
record. It would be a matter of public record.
Right. But is the public record out by now? I thought it took a little while.
Um,
I don't know.
this is federal court. I don't really have any training in that, so
But
uh, but it's a public record. So
it will
whenever
be.
it becomes available, anybody can
Yeah,
find
but
it and view it.
but that's gonna be long as hell. I just took TLA's word for it. Shout out to TLA. He's a lawyer in this manosphere. So he mentioned cyberbullying and a couple things. So I was
Mhm.
like, that's what I'm gonna do from my channel. And let me know what you think of that book, Helmet. I'm thinking about getting that book, Weapons of Mass Destruction. I thought it was super interesting. Shout out to Engineering Cannabis again. Algorithms can run amok and be racist and elitist because people program them, right? They're not magic. People program them. So that's what made me think about it. And Helmet, on this, a lot of people, a lot of lawyers shout out that said this could be a landmark case to go after people on YouTube, Snapchat, and Facebook for liable
Absolutely.
since Cardi B won. What's your take on that, Adrian? You got a little more. You think this could be a
Um,
landmark case for people who kind of try to
so
go?
so my training and experience is not in the federal jurisdiction, but my understanding for it to become a landmark case, there would need to be some appeals, and I'd be interested to see if Cardi B appeals. Has there
She
been any?
won. Why should we? Why would she appeal?
I
She
beg your
won.
pardon. I'm sorry, Tasha
Um,
K.
I
I
know
beg your
you. My
pardon,
bad.
Tasha
My
K.
bad.
Tasha
I know
K.
you.
No, I misspoke. I'd be curious to see if Tasha K appeals. Had you heard any chatter about that?
Well, a lot of people was asking to appeal because a lot of people were saying her attorneys were garbage. They were actually criminal.
Right,
Hold on, Adrian.
right.
Let me get OG Patrice up here. Let me
Oh,
refer
gee.
to my elders.
Hey,
How
can
you
y'all
doing?
hear me?
Yeah, you crystal
What's
clear.
good? What's good? Hey, Adrian. What's up,
Hey,
Professor Black Ops? Shout
You
out to
doing?
the chat.
Yeah, spring up. So what you think of it? I'm sure you've seen it all over the internet. I'm trying to get my two pennies, so I try to do it from a cyber perspective and online harassment perspective, and I throw a little.
Exactly.
So what's your
Exactly.
take on that, OG?
Okay, so she did do Tasha K did come out with her speech or comment
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, rebuttal, whatever. And she did say that they were gonna appeal, and she was talking
Uh-huh.
about how she was gonna take it all the way to the Supreme Court if she had to. I don't know, how that's gonna pan out or anything, but my thing is I'm hoping that this is a lesson learned for all content creators that are pretty hypocritical, right? Especially when they are doing things just as bad or worse when it comes to doxing
Mhm.
cyberbullying. Listen, I've been
Mhm.
on platforms and been subscribed to people that had their channels taken down because of cyberbullying and doxing. They giving out people's addresses, phone
Mhm.
numbers, social
Mhm.
security numbers, and going at it, got order protections against each other. I have seen it all in these YouTube
Wow.
streets. So this case hopefully will set the precedent for us on these YouTube streets to stop all the foolishness that is going on amongst us.
Oh, I know. That's the sad part. I agree with you. I was surprised when I came to YouTube. I'm like, really, these are grown people. And the crazy part, I seen it in the tech space. I thought the tech guys were a little more mature, a little better. Nah, we just like everybody else, OG. We just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's sort of like you come for me, I'm a come for you, and then it just spools into some big snowball of toxic vitriol, right? That people spit, and then you get personal. Then
Oh,
it
facts.
goes it
Mhm.
goes way past you and that person. Now they talking about your kids and your
Oh,
wife
man.
and your husband and your call it. Listen, they have called people jobs to try to get
Oh,
them fired. I am
facts.
telling you, the
Yeah.
last year that I've been in these YouTube streets has been amazingly surprising to me to know that we go to these type of lengths to humiliate, to try to have people to lose their jobs. Listen, this whole book beef that happened about 2 years ago, pretty close to 2 years during the pandemic. Two women got into it over a man on Facebook, started
Mhm.
an argument, start doxing each other. One woman found out where the other woman lived. She went and addressed that woman and deleted that woman, you guys. Like, that's how
Mm.
serious them
Mm.
two women got. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but
No,
this
no.
social media bullying and doxing has got to stop. And
It,
we can't listen. And I don't mean like we as us up here, but I mean we as a people have got to
right.
stop it because we're being hypocritical with the things talking about Tasha K with the things that we're doing to each other in these YouTube streets.
Uh, like I said, I kind of understand that from a relationship, but I never thought the tech space would do that. I mean, it's just
Exactly.
like that. So it's just, like you said, I'm just amazed at what's going on. And somebody had an excellent question. They said, what would this have on a metaverse? And that's going to be something different. And I think it will have ramifications in the metaverse because you think we having problems now when you in a bubble face to face with avatars. We're gonna be fighting avatars. The metaverse gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and it's just not worth it when somebody come at you disrespectful or this and that, especially if you have a brand. Let me just
Oh,
say
fuck.
that
Mm-hmm,
if you
mm-hmm.
if your YouTube page is your business, or you have a brand or business outside of YouTube, but you're using this platform as a content creator to have a brand, to develop a brand, or whatever, to talk about your brand, you should be very, very careful of what you say and what you do on here. And you can't control what no one else says, but you can control what you say.
But the other part I think you gotta be careful, and I agree with you 100%. OG is when people stay stuff on your platform a lot of time. If they get too spicy, I think YouTube wants you to go and splice that video and take that part out.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
you're not responsible, but I think you're responsible for the content that's uploaded on there, right? So I think a lot of times, so like if you don't get a lot of the trolls out and they start, YouTube blames you because they want you to kind of keep your area tidy and cleaned up under the YouTube rules.
Absolutely. If you are breaking company policies and
Mhm.
guidelines and procedures and rules and regulations when it comes to YouTube, then now, yeah, they're gonna dig more into you and what you allowing on the platform. But listen, let's be real. Like, I used to be a Tasha K fan. I was a person that followed her channel. I liked
Mhm.
a lot of the things she would talk about as far as celebrities, but when it got to the toxicity, when it got to what happened with my girlfriend with Jaguar Wright. Okay, so now originally when my girlfriend went on online and went viral exposing the music industry allegedly, I'll say that. Everybody in the world wanted to interview her, wanted her on their platform, wanted to talk to her. When it got back to uh Tasha K, Tasha K was like, no, because I guess she didn't think that my girlfriend was big enough for her, not
Mm,
knowing that she had already went viral. So she ended up giving the interview to Storm Monroe. Well, Storm Monroe went viral and had over 2 million something hits off of that
mm,
interview. And then now all of a sudden Tasha K wants to interview her after
right.
she see that Storm Monroe went viral and set a precedent for his platform to become as big as it is right now. Then Tasha K interviews her and then turns around and and docs, not docs her, but kind of like stab her in the back by getting
Hmm.
her family online to to kind of debunk her
Yeah.
story, if you will. So it's like you get me on your platform, and I'm if I'm allegedly telling my story of what's all going on in the music industry, allegedly, and now
Hmm.
you want me now because your protege went viral with me. You didn't want me at first because you said I wasn't
That's
big enough a person, but then you get me. I mean, see, that's the hypocrisy. And then you get me on, and I tell you, yes. This is what I say, this, that, and the other, and I'm saying, and then she told Tasha K that she had a mental illness. She was battling with
oh wow.
PTSD.
Wow.
Tasha K took that
Oh
and
my
went
God.
and stabbed her in the back, got that girl's family who she was fighting with on her platform and did a whole surviving Jaguar right thing to as
Oh
to
my God.
debunk. Now, as to debunk anything that Jaguar was saying based off of what she was saying, how the music industry is controlled by the big wig that you in your very statement just talked about who you're trying to stop you. So it's the hypocrisy for me, right? And then to literally cyberbully somebody on off of lies and to
Oh
do
my
it
God.
for 3 years and then think that you're not supposed to have any repercussions of that.
That's great. Hold on, OG. Let me shout out to Big Bad Bull. He don't know he gave me my first cash app. I mean my first super chat. I just got monetized. So shout out to Big Bad Bull. I'm gonna have to hang that up on my wall, man. I appreciate that, man. I just got my super chat out. I didn't think it was on, but shout out to Big Bad Bull for hitting the super chat. And EJ, I'm gonna let you get in, and we're gonna go back to OG. She was rolling. What you got, EJ? Oh, let me get her back on. EJ, can you hear me? I'm sorry. EJ?
May I
Are
may
you
I interject?
Hold on, let me get EJ on real quick, Agent. EJ, can you
Okay.
hear me?
are you talking about Erica Janice?
I did, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. You just
Oh,
came up here,
okay.
EJ. I'm gonna let you get on.
Hi,
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Erica. So to keep it tech kind of thing, what I was thinking about is everyone has their own following, their clan or their swarm of people. So if either side, if their people have someone in tech, you can have a botnet or some kind of attack
Oh,
on that person's life and their livelihood and shut down their computers and all. And that's not difficult to find that kind of information in America because in America we don't really protect anyone's identity, and you don't need like super hacker skills to be able to get people's access to their information. So if you look at the whole Black Mirror, any one of their series, and you can come and get anyone's information. So I think one thing to keep it tech side of this thing,
mhm.
that it's a very dangerous game, and especially someone mentioned Facebook. Like a lot of people got their chest out on Facebook or wherever they are in the digital
Fact.
world and on the virtual, but when you see someone face to face, I bet there's no way that Tasha K would have said any of these things to Cardi B if she was face to face. Because anyway, yeah.
No.
So I think that those are things to be looked at, as well as if you look at the stats of cyberbullying, the more and more that people come into the tech age and all, the numbers are going higher and higher of how many people commit suicide because it's behind these screens are a real live breathing human that have feelings. And with Tasha, I mean with Cardi B speaking on the fact that she felt suicidal. And this is real because when everyone turns off their computer, then you have that person behind there and you think these thoughts of someone still runs in your head. And some of the comments that someone just write and go on with their day, it runs in your head. Like some of the things that you would text me here, and I'm like, oh, I walk off with that, and I either have my superpower to go be great and pass a test, or I'm like, oh man, they thought I was horrible today. Anyway, that's my rant, and that's what I got.
No, thanks for coming. The crazy part is I had a news clipping where this young girl was a gymnast, got bullied and ended up deleting herself, and it just hurt me so bad. I just didn't even put it in there. I just said I'm gonna kind of focus more on technology. But you're 100% correct, especially when you talk about younger people. Like I said, when I first thought about cyberbullying, I usually think of more kids than when I thought about doxing. That's what made me, like OG Patrice said, start thinking about YouTube and Facebook and the crazy thing adults think. Well, usually when I think of cyberbullying, I usually think of kids, to be honest.
No, it's happening to adults too. Unfortunately, it's that until I got in these YouTube streets, I didn't realize how childish a lot of adults can be with each other. But it's becoming to be at dangerous. If you, in my humble opinion, um, too much. Hopefully, again, that this case will set the precedent that people will calm down and they will cool out and realize, yeah, you got freedom of speech, but guess what? You can't say anything all the time just because you want to. And if you can, guess what? If you still want to do that, it may cost you.
Right, like I said, you got freedom of speech, but you ain't have freedom of a consequence. Let me read this quick super chat I got. Shout out to Snuggles, my favorite. I don't even like calling her troll anymore, but I was supposed to be the one, but I see how you do me. But don't worry, I'll let Theo know about this because this is a travesty of how you do this to me. Shout out to Snuggles. She said she's gonna come up on my platform or anybody's platform for at least a year I've been on YouTube. So shout out to Snuggles. I definitely appreciate the 5. I wish I had my Bernard Riley. I got 5 on it. So I usually see him pay that for you on his show. So I might have to ask his permission to play. I got 5 on it for Snuggles. But go ahead, Adrian.
I wanted to make a comment right
go
quick,
ahead.
Mr. E, because I don't want no one to think that nobody's just on Cardi B's side.
Okay.
Because I know Cardi B has done some allegedly, I've heard some questionable things as well, and I'm not condoning anything that she has done either, because listen, a lot of what I'm hearing, things that she's done has been toxic as well, but we have to put things in perspective. Right now, it's not about that. Right now, it's about this case right now, and what Cardi B done has nothing to do with this case. It's about what Tasha K did to her. Now, if men want to come forward and press charges against her and sue Cardi B for something she may have done, then that's a separate situation. Right now, this situation is the fact that Tasha K bullied her. Tasha K defamed her. See, that's where we need to make sure we distinguish what's going on. No one is taking away from anything that Cardi B has done. No one's saying that, but no men are stepping forward. I don't see no men saying she allegedly drugged me, or even and the foul things that she said about that woman's baby, the foul things she said about black women, calling them roaches, allegedly, the foul things she said about calling somebody's child a monkey. Absolutely foul as F-U-C-K, right? Like we know that. Like that's real talk. But this case ain't about that.
No, facts.
She wasn't on trial for that.
Yeah, that's true. Let me read these couple comments. I like Mr. E. Come on, the Gosper versus the Whopper. Both are not good for the community, but y'all make the Whopper the victim because she cried. Y'all being played by both sides. No, I agree with you. That's why I kind of come. You late, Mr. E. I'm doing it from a technology side, really. We're talking about online harassment, cyberbullying more than the victim who played each side. But that is an excellent point, Mr. E. But we usually talk more about the technology.
Right, it is an excellent point, but is that the case? Is Cardi B on trial for her hypocrisy? No, she's not. And until those men come forward, it's gonna be what it is. Not to say absolutely, I don't agree with a lot of things she's done and said, nor do I condone her music. But let's be real. I'm
Right.
over 50 years old, and we had some foul music back in my time. It just now it's more explicit, but let's
Facts.
look at it. Stroking by Candy Liquor.
That's true.
You know, let's get it on.
No,
All
that's
of
true.
those were foul back in
Right.
my time. It's just more explicit now, but it's all
Right.
the same thing.
No, that's true. Let me read a couple more of these comments. Best yet, Journey. I'm new to YouTube, but I've seen some stuff that makes me shake my head. Yeah, I've really been on YouTube, especially as a content. I've probably only been here about really a good year. So, OG Patrice said, I start seeing some wild stuff, man. I'm like, man, I didn't really come to YouTube for all this. So I'm let's go
Shake
going way
your
back.
head.
So, uh, let's
So
see.
all I wanted to say, Professor Black Ops
Mm-hmm.
and panel, just from a rhetorical perspective, like, what happened to civility?
Oh,
What happened?
you can't make
Girl,
money on civility.
that went out the window a long time
Yeah,
ago.
you can't get clicks with civility.
This is it hurts my heart.
They rather
I'm out.
see the effery and the buffoonery. Now,
Yeah.
it's also alleged too that Wendy Williams' family is possibly looking at coming after Tasha K. That's alleged, and I heard Choke No Joke say that. And I do know that I think that he is right. Tasha K was trying the next Wendy Williams, but because she was coming for Wendy Williams, but now it's alleged possibly Wendy Williams is possibly coming after Tasha, allegedly.
Oh, okay. Let me shout out to Big Bad Bull, man. I really appreciate that, man. He gave me a $40 super chat. He said, "My bad, brother. I thought I missed the celebration, but since I'm the first, let me congratulate you with a little more respect on your name. I love everything you're doing. I appreciate it, Big Bad Bull. You know, if you need anything from me, I always reach out to me, man. I know you're trying to get in the IT cybersecurity game. Anything you need, man, just reach out to me. Professor Black Ops at gmail.com. Come check me out, man. Go ahead, Patrice. You rolling? I was Asian rolling. Hell, I can't remember.
No, it was Adrian.
What Big Bad Bull just I'm sorry, what Big Bad Bull just said was an example of civility. We need more of that, please and thank you.
That's fine, but me and OG Patrice know you don't get clicks that way.
You already know the people that really got good platforms in these YouTube streams, they got less subscribers. They get less views, and they do. When you're talking about really truly coming up with solution for the Black community, when you're really talking about healing the gender wars between Black men and Black women, you rarely get clicks and views for that. But let all of the buffoonery, the toxicity, the vitriol, the venom that's being spewed, and the gossip, right? Let that be the topic of the day, and you getting thousands and thousands of clicks and views and likes and subscribers because they like the drama.
Oh, facts, like you said. I don't know if I was disappointed about it or confused about it, but like you said, it is what it is. But that's really what it is too in the real world, so it's no different, you know. Jerry Springer been on, Maury Povich been on for 40 years, man, running the same game. So, you know, we really a mirror of that. My 2 cents, you know. I'm just
I went on Jerry Springer. I went on Jerry Springer Day when he, was it film Chicago. I just really wanted to see, was it real? Because I just absolutely could not believe people act like that. I had to see it for myself with my own 2 eyes, and it was real. I was like, wow. Okay.
What?
I've seen it for myself, and now I won't ever. Yeah, I went on there because I was just like, I really want to see it stage. It was for real, y'all.
That's scary. Let me read this other super chat. Shout out to my young man before the billions. I know he's gonna do big things out here. I'll be on his channel more. He's on my. I appreciate that. You right behind me before the billions. I just got monetized last week, so I sent him my little paperwork, and it happened pretty quick. I didn't think my super chat was monetized yet, but I appreciate everybody for hitting me with the super chat. You know, I'm like, keep it taking. I'm pleasantly surprised, but you know, I came here to do work and get people into cybersecurity and IT in general. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. But I super appreciate that. B2B.
BTB. What's good?
In the house.
Yeah, but Mr. E, I hear your point. don't know if it's a humiliation ritual or
No
anything
facts. Yeah.
regarding all of that. I can't attest to that, but I understand what you're saying about.
Oh, did she drop or I dropped her? Everybody dropped. Come back up. I don't know if I dropped or y'all dropped or did I drop everybody? Oh, my bad, OG. Did I drop you? I don't think. OG, can you hear me? My bad.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm
Okay.
struggle streaming. I'm getting used to the panel game.
Where did Adrian go? Did you drop her too? Because
I,
I
I
was like,
think the
ooh,
software. I think the software
I was like,
blipped. Now,
yeah,
welcome
but
back.
yes,
You got to work
yes.
with me. I'm still struggle paneling.
No
Welcome
problem.
back.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, but to Mr. E's comment, I don't know anything about the humiliation rituals and whatnot, but I would like to say to Mr. E, would you agree, since you're talking about the whole WAP song and how it's bad for the community, would you agree that the same sentiment when it comes to the gangster rap, when they glorifying the deletion of our people, the disrespect of black women and black men, when you're talking about glorifying drugs and gangs? Now, would you agree, sir, Mr. E, that is the same thing that is
Ooh,
not good for our community as well?
let's see if we go get to him. That's an excellent question. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Erica. I appreciate the super chat. Good job, black man. I appreciate the support. Like I said, I just got my button today, I think. So I appreciate everybody coming through and showing the old guy some love. I really appreciate it. Let's see. How did the gender war come about? Does anybody know? I don't know. I'm staying out for that one. Snuggles. Uh, I appreciate it, network, bro. Salute, Professor. What's the stig of the day? Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing the stigs on my own channel. Shout out to that. Good luck on your test, and I know you'll be back. I know you're gonna shine great on taking your network test, and we're gonna chop it up and do some your own prim setup to my AWS setup. Yeah, I don't know what happened, Adrian. That could have been user error. So shout out for network, bro, for that super chat.
Come back up, Adrian.
Yeah, come. Yeah, Adrian, I got it. It's at the top. It's $sign indie black programmer. If you look at the top of my stream, that's my Cash App. Now I gotta start looking at Cash App. That's a lot going for me, OG. I'm not used to looking
Trying
at
to
super
multitask.
chats.
She's trying to multitask.
Yeah, I'm barely handling the panel. I done dropped people off on the panel on accident. so I'm gonna try to make it. You have I don't have a PayPal helmet. It's all good. I might have to get by. I got one, but I got to figure it out. I very rarely use it. Yes, man. Yes, ma'am. I definitely agree. He
Okay,
agreed with
thank
you,
you,
OG.
Mr. E. Thank you. I
So
appreciate it. Well, then
he's
we on equal
consistent.
plane. Yeah, we on
Yeah.
equal plane. I'm never not saying that, Cardi B isn't guilty of anything. But the thing is, she's not in court for anything. She's not getting
Fact.
accused of anything in the court of law. So that's where you have to separate that. But I understand your stance totally, and I agree with your stance. But we know that men rarely
Oh.
come forward when they've been the
Oh.
victim of something.
Oh no. We too embarrassed. We too ashamed. We unless she did something to him, like sexually or something. We ain't just robbing us now. We ain't coming forward. They're not
Too
coming forward.
embarrassed, especially if you got
Yeah.
wives at home, right? And you
Yeah.
out there doing something you
You
ain't
you
supposed
know
to be doing.
80% of them had a wife or a girlfriend. We already know.
Exactly.
No, I think Engineering Cannabis had a great statement. How can there be a gender war when all our people are at the low end of this economy? Right now,
That's a great question.
that's
It's a great question, but it's happening.
it
It's
is. Yep.
happening in these
So
YouTube streets.
they are over and over. But I think for some of them, that's the money grab because we put such a high importance on it, right? So I think that's one of the big money making segments. I don't like. I'm like Engineering Cannabis. I'm trying to be confused of why that is, but that definitely is
big money and big subscribers, right? Nobody likes the boring conversations about how we gonna heal and fix the community. They like the
Right.
conversations of calling black men and black women names and going back and forth and absolutely have no solutions. They love that. They glorify
Well,
that. You see how a backwards we are? Do you
oh
really
yeah.
do you really see how a backwards we are? So we are a detriment to our own community when it comes to that. Not just the artists. We can't even blame them for everything. We fall into it. We are engulfed in it on these YouTube streets.
No,
So
that's
how
true.
we gonna blame the artists? We can't blame them for everything. Guess what? Because we can turn our TVs off. We can turn
Okay.
unsubscribe to the toxicity. We can do all of that, but we choose
Oh,
not to.
100%.
So,
Which
again, we got to self inventory. Look in the mirror. What part do we play in that? Do you play in that as a person? Are you subscribing to the toxicity? Are you subscribing to the drama? Are you a
that's
part
true.
of the drama? Are you in the drama? Are you glorifying the drama? If it is, then it's hypocrisy on all of our parts. It's like how you gonna even talk about Tasha K to some
No,
extent
that's
when
true.
you a part of it as well.
Like I said, I was listening to some of the things, and I was kind of surprised when they brought up cyberbullying and online harassment because I just never thought about that. Because, like you said, part of YouTube is just so toxic. I just see that so often. But of course, Tasha K took it to, she had herpes and people were teasing her, and she admitted on the stand she made those stories up to make money. And that's part of the doxing part. When I think cybersecurity, I think kids. When I think
Well, that's part
doxing,
of the defamation. That's
right,
part of the
right.
defamation part.
I
Yeah.
think when I think doxing, I think people on YouTube and
Doxing is exposing somebody' personal information, address, telephone
right,
number,
right.
they real name, they social security number, their kids, where they work, where they go to school,
Okay.
things of that
Which,
nature.
why would you bring somebody kids in? Shout out to Adrian talking about Tasha K is going to appeal. But yeah, let's blessing everyone. Kev Tech in the house. Shout out to Kev Tech. Go check him out. He's getting everybody in help desk, and they're gonna come see me in cybersecurity. Then we can all make money. Then we can kill the gender war. We can hug and live happily ever after. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right. Well, look, Professor Black Ops, even with,
That's
you
my
know, and
cash app, Hellman. If you, my fault, Patrice. That's my cash app on screen. Go ahead, OG.
no, I just wanted to say just recently, even with the unfortunate uh, situation with Regina King's son, and may
Oh
he
my
rest
God.
in peace. He posted on his social media how he realized he needed to get off of Instagram because of the toxicity, obviously, that he was getting from people. Because he
Oh.
posted a couple of things, I think,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of days before his self deletion. And we
Mm-hmm.
need to realize, especially if you suffer from any type of mental illness, when people they could realize that and know that, and they will still come at you and bully you cyberly and dox you and do things, and they can know that. Like I said, my girlfriend went on Tasha K's platform and she talked about her mental illness, and look what Tasha K turned around and did to her. And that's when I was done with Tasha. I unsubscribed. I no longer followed her because I realized, oh, you didn't want her on there before because you thought she wasn't big enough for your platform to get you any, clicks and views. But then when you see your protege get all the clicks and views, and it's like now you want to interview her, and then you turn around and you use everything she tell against her with her own family. So I was done with Tasha K then. I unsubscribed as a follower because I thought that was, that was real effed up. But then
Oh.
you get on, and then you get on your platform and you double down based off of the media and the big wheel that, listen, if it was such a big wheel, and we know, yes, in the music industry, there's big wheels behind all these artists, but I really don't think that that's the case when it comes to Cardi B. Not looking at Cardi B's Instagram and the stuff that how she used to talk about, she was tired of her lying on her and how she was gonna sue her, and she followed through with it. She did exactly that. So how can you blame the woman when you are out here simply lying, and then you want to double down and blame somebody else and not take responsibility at all? At least to say, hey, you guys, it's over. I'm moving forward. I'm moving on. This is a learning lesson for me. And I've learned something like be constructive in your own criticism when you know that this is what you did. So
Oh, fine.
that's where for me, it's like, okay, you down and you are not taking any accountability for yourself. So like I can't with you, because that to me, it's like, okay, I can't. I'm really not riding, because for a woman to do that, a black woman to do that to another woman of color, and I know Cardi B, they don't consider her black or whatever, but she's still a woman, and they both are mothers. So as a black woman, you know what I mean? At what point are you going to say, when she was asking you to stop, why didn't you stop?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you was making
Hold
a
on.
whole lot of money.
That's true. Let me let Citizen Lou chime in, OG. What's up, Citizen Lou?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
Can you
man,
hear me?
you my role model, man. I've been watching you do panels for a while, man. I thought I'd give it a shot, man. What you got for me?
Oh no, you cooking, man. I was just doing some, studying some of this AWS and stuff like
Hey,
that.
man.
But no, man, I mean, you're right on the money, man. I think that was OP above me. She was really cooking. I didn't want to really interrupt her. She was cooking. I mean, I see what she's saying.
I had to let you in. I had to simmer her down, man. I seen her cooking.
Yeah, she was cooking. Yeah.
That's why I slid you in there, man. I got to slow OG down a little bit, man.
But she right. This YouTubian community, it is toxic. I mean, it's like you can put a video up, how to code, how to script, how to do database development. I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to say, oh, y'all don't want to watch my videos. It's cool because some people do want to watch it, but it's the fact that, like, when you do make these videos, a lot of times it won't be black people who come and watch and click. So I mean, she's right. I mean, it's right. I mean, we want to see the nonsense. I mean, the train wreck, the messiness, because it's just, just talking about somebody, reaction to Kevin Samuels or something, or it's just I agree with her on this, like that it is a toxicity element to this, and you do have to. I haven't been on Instagram in a year. Because I felt it was just so much lying and finessing and just fake lives. They couple of, you know what I mean? OP, they couple of the year on Instagram. You find out behind the scenes he beating her up. She's cheating on with his best friend, stomping him out.
Hold on, Citizen. Let me throw this in there. Mm-hmm. The metaverse is gonna be Instagram on steroids, because you're gonna be able to be super fake in the metaverse, man.
The metaverse. Oh yeah, the metaverse is just gonna be supreme flexing. I mean, it's because. That's why I stopped, because I at one point I was gonna like post a video and meet my situation. I was like, you know what, man, I don't care. I don't care about likes. I know my life is good. I know where I've come from. I know what I've achieved. So I don't need to show people. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But it's sad, man. This metaverse is coming. I told you about that movie, Virtual Revolution 2047. It's gonna be the people on UBI, 300 pounds with model type avatars and just talking trash on internet all day. That's what's gonna happen.
He's up there. I'm 5'8" and chunky, man. I'm gonna be 6'4" with abs in the metaverse.
Yeah, but you ain't out here trolling and talking trash and
facts.
8-hour hate streams.
I'm going in the metaverse at all. I think I'm staying far away.
OP, my what I say, I'm passing. I know I've been kind of but you know what you got to do. You got to be the ones who's building the metaverse. Don't partake in it. You know what I mean? Be the ones support this. It is because it's coming.
But Citizen, I don't want to get
ma'am.
groped allegedly in the metaverse. Allegedly.
Oh, you right? Oh, groped. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it. I ain't want to. I just y'all chopping up some good game up here. I just want to chime in.
I appreciate it, man. We're gonna have to hook up on some AWS stuff, man. I'm doing my little class on Sunday. I'm showing the SOC services, so you can create your own SOC in AWS. Go ahead, Erica. Come on, chime in. Erica, can you hear me? Maybe she.
Yes, I can hear you. My battery's real low, so I was trying to switch to another device. But my question is about the bag. So with all the people on here about tech, like how could we get to the bag with knowing that this cyberbullying thing is here, and that these people in different platforms, virtual platforms, will be doing this as we move forward? How can a collaboration of a team of people come together and figure out how we can make money off of this in a tech space, and to even make society, make it safer or something? You see what I mean?
Yeah. I think I think Citizen Lou reached out. Part of those metaverse rooms is writing programs for that, right? Part of that too is how do you actually record some of that, which I know the metaverse is going to do, so you can be able to sue somebody, right, with the proper information, right? So I think there's going to be a myriad ways to do it, like engineering cannabis. There are going to be algorithms in the metaverse. We just got to make sure they're equitable and fair, right? Because they're going to have things about how to buy this plot of land worth $1 million. So we got to make sure it's fair that everybody can partake, right? So I think there's going to be different elements like that in the metaverse to take advantage of it. Since it's not built yet, I think we're trying to figure it out. And for this part, just like you said, trying to figure out ways to make those bags, I guess, and to partake in those businesses, Erica, to be honest.
Right. So even like Cardi B's person, they had went through a discovery point where they had to go and pull all those videos. How do we create an app, or we create some kind of algorithm that will go and automatically pull them, and we'll charge someone? I'm saying we'll charge someone like $100,000. We can pull every time they use your name. We'll automatically pull those videos and have them there for you for a fee. You see what I mean?
I think I showed the one. I think we can actually use Amazon and actually engineering cannabis. We got to train it to a little better so we can actually lease that and use it. So there's a couple ways. That's one thing I'm actually digging into, Erica, for the second part of this is how do you get those videos and go through them? Now, this one was easy because Tasha K highlighted them with Cardi B's name on them because she was making money. Now, most times when you do that, it's not going to be that easy to find those videos. So I'm trying to do a little research, like you said, to figure out how would you do that in real life and make it easier. If somebody said, drop mine and Citizen Lou's videos and go through me because we were showing a picture of somebody, how could you make it stop there and maybe slice 10 minutes off of each side?
But you know what's fun? I was going to say, what was funny, though, is that YouTube already has that type of software. Like, they'll flag nudity instantly.
Facts.
Y'all remember that one channel got knocked down because they had that dude
Lapeef.
Lapeef, yeah. So they got
big,
So they have that software. If you say anything about
true.
the what you call, you know what I mean? They'll so it's like, if YouTube has this capability, why do they let this go on? Like, why do they let people just constantly get trolled and doxxed? And because these people who doing it, they ain't got no money. Like, we know they ain't. I mean, that's why they doing it, right? Like, they doing it as a come up.
But they was making a lot of money off of Tasha K, though.
No, facts.
Every time she made money, they made money.
Right.
Exactly. Right. Facts.
So you think that's why they doing it, Citizen? They let it go through?
That's what I was saying. I can't see her now to below me, but exactly what I was saying. Like, you got people who don't have anything, so they know they can slander and destroy your name, and you can't sue them. They ain't got nothing, right? So it's a zero loss game, right? So they like have no risk of failure. So we're gonna keep going at you, building a name, and then eventually we'll get big like Tasha K. Right?
Maybe this case will set the precedent, because maybe YouTube may reevaluate and add some new community guidelines and rules and regulations to their policy now because of this. What do you guys think?
I think so. It should. I mean, it's crazy she got this big just doing this, because Cardi B ain't the only person she done this to.
Oh no, I think she took Cardi B to the whole nother strata. But now, like OG said, Tasha K been doing this forever, man.
Yeah, but she messed with the right one this time.
So this is Erica again. So my thing, like how you can make a bag. Oh no, let me not keep saying too much, because maybe I could write this algorithm. So the audience, it won't be to the big Tasha K's or the big Cardi B's. It'll be to Ray or Belinda or something like, yo, come by my platform, and anytime someone in the hood or someone say your name or put something in a video and go world star, I'll notify you. Just pay me $10 a month or $15 a month, and I'm going to search for anything with your name in, kind of thing. So it'll be pocketed to the layperson. Like you know, you don't have $3-4 million. Let me come to you with a small subscription base, and I'll take care of you. So it'll be more of that niche, or the niche will be also the niche will be that, like right now, Tasha K, she alluded to these transcripts. So now everybody's gonna be looking for these transcripts to come out. Hey, I'll go and pull all the transcripts for whatever the topic is, all the different places, and you can come for $20. I'll give you all of my receipts. So now you in the know.
No, that's true. The problem is they locking down those APIs because you can't get in the back end. Because if you go look at it was a political company, Facebook gave them and YouTube gave them the back end APIs. They stole all the information. so they're trying to lock down those APIs because people be going rogue with them. But Eric, I think you're right. There's a bag out there to get it. We just gotta figure out which one, how to get it, and like you said, how to come up with the algorithm. Go ahead, citizen.
Oh, my bad. I had a little delay. I'm sorry. I to the brother in the chat. I wanted to bring up that the section 230B.
Okay.
The protection for private blocking and screening of offensive material. So it's like essentially these companies like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, they can't be held responsible for anything that goes on the platform because they're identified as just a platform. They're not a publisher, right? They can't be treated like New York Times and stuff like that. So right. So if it's slander on a platform, it's not their responsibility.
Yeah, but you're 100% right. I'm glad you brought that up. Congress is trying to overturn that because they think they make too much money and they should be responsible for that. So Congress keep talking about they're going to overturn that.
Yeah, that's what they was coming after all of them for. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they were coming after all of them regarding that. So you might be right. And now with this case being so big and being all over social media and regular news and everything, yeah, it might be addressed back at the table of Congress for sure. So.
Oh yeah, because they hate Facebook. I don't know why they hate Zuck so bad. They hate Zuck.
Yeah,
but
because Facebook is just evil, man.
They are. That 60 Minutes came out. That whistleblower was just spilling all his guts about Facebook. So now you're right. They be a little messy, man.
I read this thing. It said Twitter makes you love people you never met, and Facebook makes you hate people you know in your whole life.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's deep.
I like that, man.
That is deep.
Yeah, Facebook. I'm telling you, Facebook is evil, but
it's unfortunate, sad, true. You know what I mean? But hopefully, that because this happened in these YouTube streets, that this case will definitely set the precedent. We'll see. I mean, listen, people think they can free speech is so freely to say, but it may cost you. Because if somebody got enough money and got that bag to come after you for defamation, for slander, for doxing, listen, don't be surprised. I know the average Joe Blow don't, but it's people on here that have a bag now.
Oh yeah,
and that's so fact what you said. Like freedom of speech protected, but slander and libel is not. So that's a fact.
Fine. But too, even free speech though is it can come with a consequence. You can free every day to talk about your company, but if you're in a right to work state, they free to fire you.
You right about that.
So people got to understand that. And it's a movie. What was that movie? People versus Larry Flint. It's an old movie. He actually created Hustler. And I love this line. I actually used to teach business law years ago. He said, if the Constitution can protect the pig like me, all you guys will be safe. So I just always remember that, man. So, but it's always consequences with it, man. It's always consequences. I like when Network Bruh said, that was so accurate. I had to get off Facebook about 5 years ago. I'm on it, but I'm barely on it, man. I'm barely on it.
Right. I'm not only nowhere near as much as I used to either, but I'm telling you, I've seen more toxicity on YouTube than I have. Well, no, I'll take that back because Facebook was showing all them videos, just people fighting and people doing all kind of crazy stuff to each other. But then now it's happening here as well. Like I said, the doxing is real bad in YouTube. In the YouTube streets, doxing is real bad.
Yeah, it is.
She is telling the truth on that. YouTube is getting
Oh my.
the hood, you know, the hood sector of YouTube is getting it's getting out of hand. And I don't think YouTube ever accounted for it. Just like with Twitter, like, you know, they never expected, you know, the doxing and the bullet, you know what I mean? Just never expected it. Like
Facebook never thought people would do to that video what people be doing to Facebook. You think Mark Zuckerberg thought, oh yeah, I'm sure people gonna be deleting each other and all kind of crazy
Yeah,
sex
that's
stuff. I'm sure
crazy.
Mark Zuckerberg that didn't come nowhere into the focus groups, Citizen Lou. I'm
yeah,
sure.
like going live. Hey, tell them pull up. Going live. This why I'm at. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
They used to be on
people.
my Facebook. I was like, that's why I had to get off it, man.
I mean, they
And
show
I think
people
and I
actually
think
getting
the
deleted. Go
I
ahead,
think
OG.
yeah, I think the easy thing on here is, for the most part, not yet. I don't think that people have actually got on a plane and flew to the state where that person is to, like, literally. I mean, I believe a majority of it be just talk, but again, we can't just say anything. We could say anything, but just know there's repercussions and
There's
consequences
repercussions.
But OG,
behind it.
you right, because
Yeah.
LG, I'm telling you, look, if somebody pull a YouTube Columbine on here,
Oh my God.
you know what I'm saying? With all this doxing and putting people's families out, hey, we're gonna see some change then.
Yeah.
It's only gonna take one.
But see, and that's the sad part. Why does it have to take any? It shouldn't even have to take
Right, exactly.
no violence for this to subside. Now, hopefully, for the most part, people can learn from this case that you just can't say anything about somebody. You don't have receipts to back it up. You don't have no kind of proof, no kind of factual connotation to it. You just are out here just talking, just flapping your gums just to flap your gums to get clicks and views and money. You there's a consequence that's gonna come behind that if somebody choose to fight you in court.
No, like you said, but I just Tasha K didn't think anybody was gonna take her up there. But like you said, Cardi B got money, so Cardi B was like, okay. So I don't.
Yeah,
I
this
don't
was
think
Cardi
this
B was like, not only do I have money, I got time today.
Yep, I
I
was
got
about to say.
time today.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, this is 3 years in the making.
facts. So like I said, I just looked at it, I was like, let me put my 2 cents on it. Like I said, from the online harassment and the cyberbullying part. Like I said, I heard TLA brought up that was in the documents from the lawyers were cyberbullying. I guess that was one of their claims with online harassment. So then we talked about how police and buys data sometime on social media to get the answer. So it's just a myriad of ways. But my thing is, and I know all of y'all know it is, why people on social media telling on themselves? Bank robbers are showing money. People are telling where they're at. It's like, man, what's going on?
Yeah, Instagram working with the feds. They've already subpoenaed them and they're giving out all DMs. IG giving out DMs and records and all this stuff now. It's like,
yeah. Well, but that's the law. Facebook gets the most subpoenas, man.
If it's needed in court, they get subpoenaed.
They got to give it up.
They got to, right?
So if you said it too, but the question sometimes is, if your video is private, how they're getting it? Because they're giving subpoenas and YouTube or Facebook are giving those private videos over.
And Tasha K have already taken down those Cardi videos already.
Okay.
And I did say on somebody else's platform, and I said on this one too, Black Ops. If anybody went on Tasha K's channel and recorded those videos that was asked to be taken down from courts to YouTube and think you're gonna come on your platform and play them, you're gonna be in trouble too. So just be careful. Do not do that. Do not use any of those old videos about Cardi B, because if you put them on your platform, you're gonna be liable as well.
Yeah, shout out to Engineer Cam. He says Pookie's flashing stacks and cars. True, the IRS are watching too, because they said the IRS showed up in Cardi B's and Tasha K's case, and I guess Tasha K was telling a lot of others income revenues. I don't think the IRS knew about it. So,
well, it's alleged that it came out in court that she haven't paid her personal or business tax in 3 years.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that's why the IRS was there taking notes.
That's a whole nother problem. If that's true, that's a whole nother problem she have.
Especially at her level. Man, you got to have accounting on deck.
But look, Black Ops, how many times have you heard celebrities getting in trouble with IRS?
Shout out to Wesley Snipes.
That
Shout out to
hello.
Chris Rock.
Why we got? Why Wesley got to be the first one? He
Oh,
gotta
my
be,
fault.
I was just saying.
Wesley got to be the first one.
He
What about
dark
Nicolas?
skin.
What about Nicolas Cage? Man, that boy
I was
still.
just saying. There's so many of them, you know,
But
and
you're
it's
right,
Nah,
so
though.
you
it's nothing
facts.
new.
Now that's just my
checking
hero. Wesley, Blade. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with.
No, I'm with you. I should have threw the brothers out first. But nah, people be under the tax evasion, man. Wesley
Now you're
went
right though,
to
man.
jail.
And, you know, this is my thing. You know, when people say this, I don't feel like this is gossip. I think this is a monumental, historic moment amongst YouTube.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, OG? Amongst YouTube content creators, because you know a lot of people don't want to do YouTube because of this, right? Or whatever type of
Right.
sharing the information. Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
I
Willie
mean,
Nelson.
a lot of people don't have Instagram pages, Facebook pages, especially people. I'm gonna tell you, the most people that do not have social media pages, people that work for the state and the government, and the federal government and state. A lot of them don't, for that very reason, because a lot of them have lost their jobs by something that they said or did
Facts.
on their page, or somebody else said or did to them, and they whatever. But I know a
No,
lot of people, friends of mine and relatives that work for the federal government and the state, they absolutely don't even have social media pages.
no, I work at a large state agency, and the first thing they tell you is be careful. So yeah, that's really true. I'm a
You know that.
consultant, so I can get away with it. But nah, you're right. You tell them, and so now they're super careful with that.
Yeah, and Professor Black Ops, the companies that you're working for even have them as a part of your employment package now. When it comes to social media, they got a form and things you got to sign. You have to be careful what you say or do, because even though you may be off the clock, you're still a representation of their company. And that's why I told people right now. That's why I have not gotten my own YouTube channel, is because I am under a contract with a major television station right now, and I ain't messing up my bag, because I see the toxicity. So
Okay.
I ain't having nobody coming at me making me look crazy, and me coming at nobody making myself look crazy and blow that. I'm not doing it.
I was wondering why you didn't have a channel. Oh, gee,
No,
you be
everybody
killing.
asks me that. That is why because I keep I tell people I am under a contract. Like I got bad coming my way, and ain't nobody finna blow that.
No,
No, that's
I
a fact.
understand.
And you know,
Uh,
we talk about that. Like, you know, people be acting like, you know, they got 100,000 subscribers. That ain't $100,000. There's people with 5 subscribers who could way more money than you. You know, some
Oh,
people
facts.
get,
right,
you know,
right.
sedity with this. I'm with you on that. Like,
Yeah, it's like once my contract is over, I do plan on getting me a page, but I think that especially more mature um content creators, and it's unfortunate some of the mature ones is the one doing the fool out here. But
I was going
anyway,
to say OG. I was going to say
yeah,
OG.
yeah, no, it's the truth. I'm seeing it, but
Yeah.
you just hope that they will really think now, to be more respectful. That they should not, be disrespecting anyone else on their platform or anyone else's platform, and vice versa. And they shouldn't allow it on their platform. They should immediately do something about it, because it may come back to bite them in the butt later. That's all I want to say. Hopefully, people will wise up and be smarter. Be smarter about it, especially if you using your as a content creator for your brand or your business. It's just not worth it. It's not
No.
worth it.
We're going to learn today, though. We're going to learn today.
no, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I wouldn't. But you know what, too, OP? It's like, you know, somebody kind of gave me a good another content creator before I kind of got in. He kind of told me what to not do. He said, as long as you don't kind of like put like black people, this, you know, like toxic type titles, you'll attract a better, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you don't get into the nonsense, you can still create a platform. You know, like you feel like if you're talking about fishing, you know, I don't think too much toxicity. It might be some toxicity over there, but I don't think it'll be that toxic. But if you're talking about gossip, YouTube drama, you
Gender
know, stuff,
wars.
gender wars,
Wars.
swirl, divestment. It's what if
Right.
you talk
Yeah.
about that,
Yes,
then you go
exactly.
then you go get
You
trolled. You know,
asking for the toxicity, right?
exactly. You talking about kids, all these people, you go get trolled, right? But if you talking about something like, you know, learning some cooking classes or what,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what your, you know, thing would be, but I'm just I feel like the more productive, it will probably take you longer to build, but it'll be that nice, consistent, slow growth platform that they can't really. Cause who gonna go after the cooking lady? You know, y'all going after the lady making pies? That's what they do.
But citizen, I'm great name to name. Why people beat up on Gabe, man?
On who?
Well, that's jealousy. That's more jealousy than it is.
I'm still confused. I'm confused why we do that in the tech sector, man. We get a little petty in the tech sector, man.
Yeah. You're right, because they were talking. Yeah, you're right though. But you know what? They're not. Well, he is now, but at the time he wasn't really a content creator, right? It's a little bit different. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like being in the chat and people going at you is a little bit different than you having a platform.
No, facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just getting used to us being petty in the tech sector, man. Because my thing is, Kev Tech's in there, engineering cannabis in there. There's a lot of tech guys in there. Big Bad Bull coming up in the ranks is we could just disagree on the technique. Whatever it is, if Kev Tech thinks, Active Directory and I'm a Linux guy, we can just agree to disagree. I'm just always confused why people really be going at it, man, over technology, man.
Yeah, they go at CompTIA certs and going at.
I'm still perplexed about that, man. That's just something I won't ever do.
So is Apple and Android fighting for real?
Oh, that's a constant. They're talking about the companies, right?
Yeah.
OG, that's a complete pettiness, right? So check this out. I think Android sued Apple, right? And they won, and Android sent them like 2 million pennies for the settlement. Like 2 billion pennies. Yeah, they sent them like a truck. They sent like a truckload of pennies.
Facts.
Wow.
Crazy. That's a because they said they stole from them and stuff like that, and it's just constantly back and forth suing each other.
Everybody look at the screen. Comment on engineering cannabis. I got them. YouTube should follow the journalism rules that have evidence and always fact check your sources.
But that's why the Section 230. They're not New York Times. They don't.
He said they should be.
I think that responsibility is left up to the content creator, not YouTube.
Right. So should we pass some of that up on YouTube to help us act correct? I guess they would be on us a little tighter. Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me if YouTube put something, put some other clause or something, and in community guidelines because of this, right? Because look what they did with the whole Rogan thing about C19. That was huge. True. It changed the whole game of you not even being able to say C9, the whole full name. Like you getting striked and stuff. So you never know. Because this is big too. So we'll see. Because they coming up with something new every day. It's always some words you can't say or can't use.
And I be struggling, man. I be saying that where I be struggling on people's channel.
I know. I struggled a couple of times on Miss B Finesse. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Shout out to the Finesse family.
Shout out to Miss B Finesse. It was in my brain not to say it, but I was still saying it. It was like, "Oh my God," she kept saying, "OG."
I think I was on there with you. I was like, "Oh my bad." Delete it. My bad.
Right. It was great. It was crazy. I was like, "Oh my God." Yeah.
Like engineering cannabis say, we gotta do a better job. Let me read B. People arguing in the tech sector because people are technical and they're caught up on every word you said.
Yeah, that is a fact. Like you do see, true. Yeah, you do see people like, oh, you don't know networking, you're stuff like that. Like it's just kind of like you'll see those little skirmishes, but I don't see the doxing in the
facts
and the dragging. I don't see that in the tech sector. I might see some long spirited comments or something, but I don't see 8-hour hate streams and pulling up your child support record.
Right.
Pulling up your child. I don't see that. I just don't,
Shout out, what is his name? Master Troll, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He had me, he pulled up Angry Man's rental records, man. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, he went to like all the big YouTubers, went to like they address and went to Google Maps and show where they was living. I'm like, man, this dude.
My God, that's extra, way extra. That's too much.
He was getting paid to do it. They was cash apping with names. Dox him, dox this dude.
Man, he was making a ton of money. Facts.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Facts. Master Troll, man. I'm not that big, so but yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, this one YouTuber that I guess was going around doxing people or doing stuff, and they were trying to find this particular person. Man, do you remember? I don't know if you was on the live Professor Black Op. It was on TLA's channel when Marcella, Speak With Your Girl Marcella, she got her own YouTube channel now. She went on there and offered lead attorney $10,000 to try to track that person. Was you on
No,
there? I was
Wait,
on
no,
there
wait,
I
with
was.
her when she did
wait,
that. I was
what?
like, and Lee Turner was like, I ain't getting involved with that. I ain't getting involved. He was like, I don't know nothing about it.
Man, they
This
being
my with it.
serious.
Yeah,
10.
she was looking for that YouTube. She was like, I want to find her. I want her because she was doxing her, And she was
Mm.
like, I want to find her. I want to find her. Lee TLA, if you could find her, I'll pay you $10,000. He was like, nah, no, I'm good. I was
No, it
like,
is crazy how people go there. Like OG said, people go there. It's crazy. No,
yeah,
it is
they was
wild.
doxing my girl Marcella, and she was trying to find that person. And I guess they couldn't find her, but they had tracked something to her brother IP address or something.
Oh my
But I
God.
don't know if they ever found out truly who this YouTube content creator was. But it was crazy, crazy. And now she back on. She got another page, and she back on YouTube again. So it's a mess.
Man, I let you know it's crazy out here. It's crazy in these YouTube streets.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. We
I
gotta do
think
some.
that
We gotta do
yeah,
something better though, y'all. You know
yeah.
what I mean? We got we
We
got
we
we,
do.
we got to
We
do
gotta
better than what we
do
doing as a community because it's
yeah.
it's not making us look good in a light as a whole. You know what I mean?
No, no. Our ethical image is horrible. We gotta do a little better. We gotta do a little better. But I've been doing this for 2 hours. I think I'm ready to shut it down. I am dying.
All
So
right. Well, this is my first time on your panel. I enjoyed
I need you to
myself.
come back, OG. You more than
I will.
welcome.
I for sure. I
Citizen,
will.
yeah,
Citizen Lou, nice meeting you too.
I think he was doing a few things. Yeah, shout out to Citizen Lou. Go check him out
Okay.
on my always channel. There's a ton of tech guys in the chat. Join their channels. So
Definitely will. All right. I'm out, Professor
uh,
Black Ops.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming
All
up
right.
and
Have a good one.
thanks for everybody for my first cash apps. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel special and salute. I'm gonna keep grinding. I know everybody's gonna be back. Everybody have a nice week. TGIF is tomorrow, and I can see it.
Yes.
Everybody have a nice day. I'm shutting it down. Thanks for
All
coming
right.
through.
Take care now.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I was sorry. My
No, you good.
you
I'm
about to, you
shutting
about
it
to shut it
down.
down? You about to shut it down? Okay, all right,
Yeah, I've
man.
been going for 2. You good? You good? I'll probably be on your chat. I'm sure you're going live today or tomorrow, so I'm gonna come through.
Yeah, I got to get back on this AWS. I kind of took a little break.
I need to because I ain't studying either. So I need to
Yeah,
study more and YouTube less. So,
I just kind of I need to get back on it because it was some parts that got a little dry for me. I was like so I'm about to get back on it.
yeah.
I
I'm
had to
trying to
go.
do the easy one. At least you doing a hard one. I'm just trying to get on a practitioner, man. But so let me get on that. But I'm shutting it down, man. I've been
All
going for
right,
2
fam.
hours.
You take it easy, bro.
All right, man. I check everybody. Thanks for coming through, Professor Black Ops.